What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Friday, August 25th, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the pure one at Tim Gettys.
Look at what you made me do, what you made me do.
And you like it.
I like it.
I like it too.
I'm in.
Yeah, it took me a while. It took me a few listens before this Taylor Swift track turned me around. But yeah, I'm on. I mean, I don't think it's their best thing ever, but I'm enjoying it. I'm excited for Reputation. I signed up for the tickets. I'll let you know how that's going.
Oh, okay, good.
Because there's like a whole meta game, you know. I gotta go. We're getting off track. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is Kinda Funny Games Daily. If you didn't know, each and every weekday here on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about, getting in depth, giving you perspective, answering your questions, reading bad PSN names, and doing whatever you really want us to do. You just have to go to kindafunny.com/KFGD and tell us.
We're game monkeys.
Game monkeys. And monkeys are hard to command, too.
Super Monkey Ball. Underrated.
Okay, sure. Which one?
2.
Okay. Because they made a lot of them.
Yeah.
The Vita one was pretty good, too. You can watch the show live as we record it on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, but we don't interact with you. The only way you can interact live is by going to kindafunny.com/you'rewrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up, so that at the end of the show, we can set the record straight. You can also get it later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames or podcast services around the globe. No matter where you get it, thank you for your support. Consider supporting us over on patreon.com/kindafunnygames. You get a bunch of cool bonus stuff, early stuff, party mode whenever you want it. Not whenever you want it, but you know, whatever. Tim?
Yes.
I got some housekeeping for you.
Oh.
Number one, the new Kinda Funny Doodle is up and free for everybody over at youtube.com/kindafunny.
Something special.
I love that one. That's one of my favorite ones. As a reminder, GameStop Expo is this week. Kinda Funny will be there on Sunday, 10 a.m., streaming all day long. You can watch it live at twitch.tv/GameStop or check it out as we host it on Kinda Funny Games right here, where you might be watching us now. Developers, new games all day long, talking about them, seeing cool stuff. Very excited. Then next weekend is PAX. There's a whole bunch of stuff from the Kinda Funny crew. Friday, Andrea and What's Good Games have, first off, a Life is Strange panel. Then they have a Life is Strange party that night. Saturday, no, that's not right at all. No, that is right. So Andrew's doing the Life is Strange panel Friday. There's the Life is Strange party hosted with What's Good Games Friday night. Then Saturday at 5 is the What's Good Games panel. Saturday at 8:30 is me playing Batman at the Telltale panel. You should come hang out. We're going to go to drinks afterwards. Sunday at noon is Danny O'Dwyer's Witcher panel. Sunday at 5 is my Cancer panel.
Have you figured that one out yet? Filming-wise?
No. Need to figure that out?
Yeah.
But for right now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news! There are 4 items on the Roper Report.
Half a baker's dozen.
No, that's never do that. All right? It's always a baker's dozen or it's not.
You're getting, oh man.
He's getting cocky.
Told to change it up.
He was.
You did before. You did. You know what? I'm not gonna put on your permanent record. I'm just saying, I don't like that one bit. All right? I love you, Kevin. Number 1. The Xbox One X is the fastest pre-ordered Xbox console ever, according to Xbox. Xbox says you, our biggest fans, have pre-ordered more Xbox One X Project Scorpio Edition consoles in the first 5 days than any Xbox ever. Quote, Microsoft has done it again. This is a GameStop quote. It's buried at the very bottom. Microsoft has done it again. The innovation and power behind the new Xbox One X console is driving excitement and demand among our customers worldwide. The speed at which we sold through our initial pre-order supply surpassed expectations and what we experienced with pre-orders for the original Xbox One console. This new system is definitely going to change how video games are played. I don't know about that, GameStop, but I appreciate your excitement. Media Market also put out a quote, a great piece of tech with a great onrush. Microsoft's high-end console hits the hearts and minds of our console fans. We were absolutely astonished with the run on Microsoft's new flagship console of the Xbox One family. The Xbox One X Project Scorpio Edition was the fastest sold-out Xbox console ever. Back to Xbox. Although our fans may no longer be able to pre-order the Xbox One X Project Scorpio Edition in their country, we know people are still anxious to get their hands on the world's most powerful console. We will be announcing details of the next wave of Xbox One X Standard Edition pre-orders next month, so stay tuned for more information. We can't wait for November 7th. Excitement is building from developers who have committed that more than 100 new and existing games will be enhanced for Xbox One X to the 300,000 plus European fans who got the chance to experience the full power of Xbox One X this week to receiving the Gamescom 2017 award for best hardware. So a lot of PR speak there.
Oh, yeah.
But it's an interesting follow-up to what we were talking about yesterday. Andrea and I did the story from Windows Central about Xbox One X pre-orders on Amazon.com being ahead of PlayStation 4 Pro for the entire year. And I think there's a little bit more back end stuff that puts that there. I don't know if it's just numbers from what I understand, but still impressive, still there. There still is a demand for the Xbox One, as I was saying throughout the weeks, because we've been talking about Xbox One X quite a bit. And then yesterday on the Kind of Funny Games cast, we recorded with Ryan McCaffrey, available now on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, available for free on Monday on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. There's a lot of goodwill behind the Xbox One X that I didn't see for PS4 Pro, personally.
Well, I mean, I think that's because Microsoft is doing that. They're creating that, right? They're going out there and they're saying, like, this is the most powerful console. Hashtag powerful console.
Yeah.
Like, they're screaming it, right? Whereas PlayStation 4 Pro was a bit more, hey, here's a thing.
Sure.
You know, I feel like they did that push. They did
the push wrong.
They did the push for VR in the way that Microsoft's doing the push for the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Whereas the PS4 Pro was the equivalent of what I thought the Xbox One S push was, which is
That's a great point.
here's another thing. Do you want it or not?
For you. Do you
yeah.
want this?
Whereas the Xbox was really like, yo, this is what we're doing, and I feel like all the vocal gamers and game journalist people are like, who is this for? And it's like, well, it's for the same people. It's the argument I was making before. Like, it's the people that bought the PS4 Pro are the ones that wanted it for the reasons that it exists.
Yeah.
They're going to keep buying it.
Yeah.
We don't know the numbers of that, and I would be willing to bet that they are great.
Yeah.
And this, awesome. Good for you, Xbox. Like, this is what they needed. They needed this kind of good news to get those numbers up. Like, I wonder how much it's going to close the gap between the consoles sold of PS4 and Xbox One.
Good point.
I don't think it's going to get it up there. Like
in the grand scheme of things, I'm sure this is a drop in the bucket in terms
Exactly.
of how many. I mean, you're talking about 60 million PlayStation 4 sold. So we always say, what, 40 million, 30 between 30 and 40 million Xbox Ones as a guess, because there is no official number out there.
But you got to imagine this is in the 5 days or whatever. That's a spike.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
Oh no, totally. I mean, that's what you want, and you want
And you
people
need that
excited about
momentum.
it.
You gotta
And this
keep
is the
that
thing
shit
we've
going.
talked about, at length on these shows, and like I said, the Gamescast with Ryan McCaffrey. That's why it was Xbox focused. Is the fact that I've really been, what I love about what we do, obviously, is the relationship we have with you, the best friends who listen and watch. But what I've loved about Kind of Funny Games Daily is having an ongoing conversation and having you guys chime in and talk about it and talk to it. And the people who've written in being like, hey, love the show, whatever, blah, blah. I'm excited for Xbox One X because of this. I'm still in the Xbox ecosystem because of this. It makes sense in a way that I wouldn't have thought about it before. And just the fact of yesterday's letter I thought was so good in terms of just like, hey, I am buying Xbox One X. I am here. I would recommend it because this. And I'm a gamer who plays a few games a year, plays this, and this matters for that. When I'm using it as this and I'm not buying 13 games a week, this is what it's all about. That makes a lot of sense. Shredberg wrote in to kindoffunny.com/KFGD just like you can and says, hey guys, today, Xbox announced that the Xbox One X is the fastest selling Xbox pre-order ever. Also, yesterday, Eurogamer's Digital Foundry went hands-on with several Xbox One X upgraded games, concluding that the console is 53% more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro and more than 4 times as powerful as the original Xbox One. My question is this. Who do we consider the Xbox One to be a, quote, another PS4 Pro? I think it means why. Why do we consider the Xbox One X to be another PS4 Pro, despite being powerful enough to be another console generation? In my opinion, Microsoft could call this Xbox 2 with the added benefit of all Xbox 2 being completely compatible with Xbox One, with Xbox 2 games running on Xbox One because of the compatible operating system. It seems like people got caught so much into comparing this with PlayStation 4 Pro that they ignored how much more powerful the system actually is.
I think it's a simple answer, and it's just at the end of the day, what does the console provide that's different than the last one in terms of software? And the answer is nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks better and it performs better and all that, but it's still the same games. And I think that is the difference. And it's not even like ported versions. It's not like when you see the like every time there's a new console launch, there's that weird period of a year where it's like you get Assassin's Creed on both, you get Call of Duty on both, but they're different. You have to buy 2 versions of the game, right?
Yeah.
This is the same game. So it's like, I think that's why it's not the Xbox 2. And I feel like that would have been a bad look if they released it as the Xbox 2 or whatever they'd call it. And it is just the same games that are on the PlayStation 4. It's just they are the better versions. I don't think that would have made people happy.
I mean, why do people consider this another PlayStation 4 Pro? Because that's all we've known. I think that PlayStation 4 Pro, as we just talked about, I still stand by that the lead up and announcement of that was all fucked up and the wrong way to do it. Should have been a press release, should have been a PlayStation blog post. Here you go. It's a more powerful PS4 if that's what you want. Helps out with VR, yeah. The fact that they made it into a big thing, I think a lot of us got hyped up that this was going to be something really cool. This was going to be something more like what you're talking about here with the Xbox One, is there's going to be like noticeable 53% more powerful. This is that. And it was going to be like, holy shit, this is actually really cool and interesting. And when people got quote unquote burned by PlayStation 4 Pro, just being, it's just better. Maybe you want it, you don't want it, no big deal. I think then that set expectations at an odd level. And then when we start comparing PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X, but when we thought it was Scorpio, to what it was going to be, what it was going to be, E3 gets announced, this is that. It seemed like the same messaging and it seemed like the same thing. What you're talking about here with Digital Foundry is interesting. I think it will be really fascinating if these things get out into the wild and there is that, oh, holy shit, this is doing something drastically different. This is making my gaming experience drastically better, because that wasn't the case with PlayStation 4 Pro. PlayStation 4 Pro got out and, yep, Horizon looks better. Yep, it's really beautiful. Yep, I connect to the 5G wireless because of the new card. And it's like, oh, those are all cool things. They're not a thing that makes me want to run out and buy a PlayStation 4 Pro, because those aren't issues I personally have.
Yeah.
Xbox One X, if it gets out there and it is this, and Microsoft kind of pulls off the curtain when it's out there and you start seeing noticeable improvements and reasons people are saying like, holy shit, I didn't buy one and now I'm going to go buy one because of X, Y, and Z, that changes the story. But right now people only know, and this sounds stupid, people only know what they know, and they know PlayStation 4 Pro. So until somebody shows you this Xbox One X and shows you, hey, this is something really impressive you need to have, I think that's why it's just another PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny how much we've talked about this in the last couple of years, because it's a new thing to consoles where we've never really had to experience this type of mid-cycle refresh iPhone S type thing, right? And not to pull the whole I told you so type shit, but it's we can go back 2 years to Gamescast episodes where we're talking about iterative consoles and what this is going to mean, and there was just so much like doom and gloom about, oh man, like developers are going to say that this is going to ruin everything. They have to develop for all these things in mind. It's like, well, it doesn't seem like it's really causing too much of an issue at the end of the day. And I remember I always used to argue, I'm like, we've seen things like this before with the Xbox Elite during the 360, where it's just like, it's just a better version of the console we have. And granted, how that was better versus how these are better is very different, and these are substantial upgrades to the actual gaming experience. Yeah. As opposed to just like HDMI and bigger hard drives and that stuff. I just feel like we're now living in that world where it's just like, all right, these things came and the Xbox One X isn't here. I think you're making a really good point that we'll have to see when this is in people's homes and when people are talking about it. Because Digital Foundry are fucking awesome. They are the utmost authorities on visual fidelity and telling us 53% better. That's not going to mean anything to people unless it's noticeable. And like I was saying yesterday on the Gamescast with Ryan McCaffrey, I love my PlayStation 4 Pro. I love my TV. I love how amazing it all looks. However, I just love how Horizon looks anywhere. It's like, it's one of those things where unless they're side by side, I don't know the difference. I just know it looks great.
Sure. And that's what's so fascinating about this. I think in the long grand scheme of things is that when we talked about PlayStation 4 Pro, once it got announced, we knew what it was. It was the idea of like, oh, it's a little bit better. It's like an iPhone, right? It's like Xbox One X is the one where it's noticeably more powerful, 53, all the teraflops, all this garbage, right? And we literally are in a brand new space here with gaming where Xbox is saying we're done with generations, we're done with console life cycles. We're going to do it like this. And I think I speak for a lot of gamers, just don't know what that looks like or how that feels, because it's mind-boggling right now to think that Xbox One X, like you're saying here, Shredberg, is the Xbox 2. But we're going to make games for it that run on the Xbox One X, run on the Xbox One period, run on PlayStation 4. It's like when you start getting into that thing and we start moving to, I guess the easiest way is we're moving towards a PC environment, but rather than buying components to make my own PC, I'm upgrading my system as I go. It's just hard to wrap my head around that when we're in a place literally where the PlayStation 4 can't play PlayStation 3 games because of cell processing technology. And I know PlayStation 4's whole thing was different architecture. We can run with PC, but are we to the point that, and I'm stupid, I'm not a PC gamer and I'm not a game developer, I know, are we to a point where we think that the architecture and infrastructure for games now is so universal that this is the way consoles compete with PCs and how it works?
I mean, I feel like that is part of the equation. I think the other thing is it needs to be kind of just like a truce between everybody, that everyone just agrees, all right, this is how we're going to do it to benefit everybody.
Yeah.
Or else it's going to turn into a system where if the moment that Xbox is demonstrably more powerful than PlayStation in a way that it separates away from the pack in the opposite direction of Nintendo, what's happening with Nintendo? Games aren't coming to Nintendo because people are not going to invest in that system when it has to be so drastically different when they can sell to millions and millions and millions of consoles when it's on Xbox and PlayStation.
And this is what I'm talking about, where it's just, it feels like uncharted territory that I don't understand, is the fact that, so it's 53% more powerful. At what number does Xbox One X have to hit for Ubisoft to make a game that's just for Xbox One X that can take advantage of that, to not make it feel like you're always getting built for the lowest common denominator that is PlayStation 4's install base, or just Xbox One X or Xbox One periods? It's just confusing.
I think another thing that complicates it even more is it starts to get to the point where when you go higher and higher and higher with that shit, there's just going to be more cost associated with the game. It's going to be more expensive, and it's just going to become this premium product where at the end of the day, why would Ubisoft be like, you know what? We're going to make this game just for the system that can only potentially reach X amount of people. But when it comes to that, it's like the answer would be, oh, well, Microsoft would pay them. But it's like, well, if Microsoft's paying them a certain amount, then at some point it's not worth it for all of the trouble to make this huge game with huge maps and 8K visual fidelity and all this stuff, when they could just do what they're doing now and grow together and make sure that Ubisoft has a library that's going to come out across multiple things, have an exclusive here, have an exclusive there, and profit.
And this is the same thing, and I need kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, because I'm going out here. I'm fairly certain, correct, and like, don't tell me if I'm right, only tell me if I'm wrong. I'm fairly certain it's been Xbox's whole thing has been like, no, the Xbox One X games will play on Xbox One, and that. So you're hamstringing this thing that's so much more powerful, and Ubisoft's never gonna make an Xbox One X only game. Like, it's so muddled. It's such a muddled message right now, and that's the one thing I don't have an answer for. In the fact that it would need to be Phil Spencer and Shuhei or Sean Layden on a stage being like, "Hey, everybody." I
got chills. You just saying that.
We're making this move, right, where we want to continue. Like, if everybody's shooting for the middle ground, we're never pushing it forward, and that's my concern right now. Is the fact that, and I'm doing this because like human beings, you fear change, you fear the unknown. Is that I feel like you can keep powering all this stuff up and souping up these boxes, but if there's no longer common ground, there's no middle thing. Everybody's going to shoot for the middle, which means nobody's getting it used to the right thing. I mean, it's just so confusing and weird, and I just don't understand how it all nets out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it can't be a half step. They need to commit full in or full out when it comes to, are we all just going to be where we're at and do this, and we'll have like the definitive editions and better versions on the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X? Or are we going to just have one guy, like let's say it is Xbox, and it's just like, that is the better system,
right?
And it's exclusives, and it reaches a point where gamers need to buy all three systems if they want to get the most games. I guess what I'm saying is like cross-platform games being a thing of the past. That's hard for me to believe.
I know, and that's the thing. You look at this thing and you're worrying, or not worrying about, but just being confused about that. If Xbox is serious about like no more console life cycles, we're going to continue doing it this way. What happens when PlayStation's like, we're making a PlayStation 5, here's the PlayStation 5. It's fucking whatever, specs are crazy. Does Xbox not get worried about this arms race? Or is there, then we're making the Xbox One, whatever it's going to be called. And it's all so fucking convoluted right now, weird. And it's granted, it's because it's been, for me, 30, 40 years on this earth of knowing how console life cycles work.
And then when it comes to the Xbox thing, what you're just saying, of even if they were to put out another one, then it is still the idea that those. I just lost my train of thought there. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's the idea that like there's just all the, and I know it makes sense when we say phones, and like the most iPhones can run all iPhone games. I mean, at varying degrees of quality.
What I was going to say is that the games that are coming out now is that the pinnacle of video games?
Yeah.
Because if so, then we're ready for this. If we're just admitting like, hey, where we're at, like the Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty, like we're good, then it's like, all right, cool, we can do that, and then we can have the iterative console updates that will just add these little things.
Well, I mean, that's been the thing with PlayStation 4, right? And this, let me dial it back. That's been the thing with this life generation of PlayStation 4, Xbox One, is the fact that, like, you know, it's Colin used to say, or brought up as a point. These games are great, sure, and they're awesome, but it's not like the technology and the power of the boxes has pushed us to this new thing, right? These are games that we could have been playing on PS3, but now the map's a bit bigger, or now it's a bit more clear, and this thing's that, and the other, which then comes back to this argument of like, okay, cool, so let's, for argument's sake, say for Xbox One X, PlayStation 4, and just stick with me, the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds comes to both systems. And on your Pro editions, the draw distance is way better, the maps are and they can't be larger because they're all playing on the same thing. So I guess that's how you get around this as you go down to PS3, Xbox One, then, that there's a fog of war that comes in, there's not as much draw distance. I guess that's possible. That is PC gaming, but it is.
And what's interesting to look at is Nintendo as an example. You know, a lot of people that aren't Nintendo fans are like, oh, it's underpowered and shit, and it can't have the ports or whatever. But it plays Nintendo games very well.
Yeah.
And those Nintendo games are designed with that in mind. And it's interesting to look at Nintendo, and maybe Nintendo decided this a generation ago, and they're like, our games only need to have this much power. Look at Mario. It looks fantastic. It plays fantastic. Whatever. That's all that they need. What would Mario look like if Nintendo developed a Mario game on PlayStation 4?
Yeah.
Would it look much better than it does on the Switch? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like Microsoft and Sony don't have that mindset, and I can't imagine they ever will.
Yeah. It's fascinating, and it's one of those, I'm going to be really, really interested to see Xbox One get into the wild, what it means, what it looks like, how the games are different, and then, just to see 2-3 years from now, how is all this shaking out? Does it matter? Are we looking at new consoles? How does it go? We'll figure it out. Number 2 on the Roper Report. Then you want to talk about these crazy games that look amazing. Secret of Mana is getting a remake. PlayStation blog, Square popped up over there to talk about this. They say, one of the greatest RPGs of all time, Secret of Mana, is coming back to life in 3D. Secret of Mana will come to PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita digitally on February 15th, 2018, worldwide. The game will faithfully adapt the beloved story and top-down gameplay while adopting modern 3D graphics and controls, meaning that the game has been fully rebuilt from the ground up, but still remains true to the whimsical gameplay of the original. In this remake, you can expect the great game you and your friends have. In this new remake, you can expect the great game all your friends have been saying you missed out on, reborn. Additions are voiced characters. That's right. You heard Randy in the trailer, and you'll finally get to hear Randy, Prim, and Popooey, and many other characters talk and express themselves throughout their adventure. To add to that, the game will have language options and will allow players to experience the game using Japanese voices and/or subtitles. A newly arranged soundtrack. We're excited for you to hear a beautiful, newly arranged soundtrack that pays tribute to the original, and then local multiplayer. Yes, sit down with 2 of your friends, up to 3 players, to experience the adventure together. Does this do something for you? Does this make your little ding-a-ling go?
I am one of those people that all my friends said I missed out on Secret of Mana, not one of the RPGs I played back on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I love this. I think this is great that Square's doing this. Like,
sure.
For all the shit that they get, they did it with World of Final Fantasy last year, and then doing this, and I Am Setsuna. I love that there's these smaller titles that they're still doing the more traditional JRPG games. And look, like this list, with the exception of the newly arranged soundtrack paying tribute to the original, because that doesn't sound like something fans are going to want. The rest of it, this is fan service. This is great stuff. Oh, cool. We get to play multiplayer. Awesome. The voice acting and all that stuff, you can listen to Japanese or English with subtitles, dubbed, whatever, however you want. Great. That's what the fans of this game are going to want to do. This is awesome news.
Yeah.
Across the board, with the exception of it not coming to the Switch. But,
Yeah, whatever. Your Vita, though, dust it
your
off.
Vita,
Give
dust
it a
it
chance,
off.
all right? You don't talk about the small buttons, all this bullshit I want to hear from you. Just fucking play, get some trophies, have some fun. Nah, yeah, real cool. I never played it. I know people love it. I'd like to give it a shot. Number 3, according to MCV, Shadow of War is WB's biggest marketing campaign ever. MCV had a conversation with SVP of International, I guess WB International, Oliver Wolf. He says in quotes, "Our sales expectations are massive. Top 5 or top 10 massive. We've never had such an investment in one game and in a marketing campaign, and we believe that we have the right product in order to seduce a mass audience. We have very high expectations. It's definitely going to be our game of the year. There's no doubt about that." He continued, pre-orders are pretty strong. They are above what we had for Batman Arkham Knight, and we are very happy with what we have. Warner Brothers is already planning to support the title over the long run too, with Wolf adding, quote, it's a title that for us is going to last a long time, and we're going to support it for at least 18 months after launch. Middle-earth is a broad franchise with lots of appeal. We think we just scratched the surface in a very nice and successful way with the first game, but we believe Shadow of War can seduce a lot of other players because there is so much innovation in the gameplay. He likes to seduce people.
Yeah.
We should get him a producer/seducer.
Yeah,
shirt.
big fan of that. This is interesting to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I might just be outside of this audience, and maybe I'm just not seeing any of this, but this is the biggest marketing campaign they've ever had. I'm not seeing much about it.
Yeah.
And, again, I'm not looking for this stuff, so maybe it's just not coming to me. Lord of the Rings, never been my thing. Don't fully understand it, but the fact that they're putting more behind this than Batman sounds weird.
But I mean, that's my thing, right? So that's a great point. Well, yeah, exactly. There's more marketing behind it than Arkham, according to this. Maybe this is just an offhand quote, but it's what he said. And then he says, and that's the thing. That doesn't blow my mind, right? There's more marketing behind it than Batman. It's their biggest marketing of all time. Sure, you're pushing this game really hard. You need to be like, hey, everybody, there's a Lord of the Rings game. There's a sequel to this game you heard about that was criminally underplayed. Hey. It is the one of like, when he comes up here and he's talking about the fact that the pre-orders are pretty strong. They are above what we had for Batman Arkham Knight, and we're happy that's weird. I wouldn't have expected the pre-orders to be beyond Batman. What?
This sounds like Batman Beyond.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. If only Rocksteady would do that.
Wanted.
Shout out 8 years. Batman Arkham Asylum's 8 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it is shocking to me, but I mean, that just shows that we are not necessarily the target audience for all these things.
My thing about it, to dial it back, is, and I don't mean to I'm not taking a shot here at all. This is a guy about marketing, talking about marketing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is there hyperbole here? I went to VG charts, which is far from the end all be all, but they guesstimate all the time and they're wrong a lot, but they're not, they get it right too. Global total for Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor, right, was a little over 3 million units. Not for all the platforms that was on, right? That's not, maybe that was just for PlayStation. The whole thing it's just such a weird thing. People liked it. It reviewed well. I just don't remember there being...
People really liked it.
Yeah?
But I feel like that was not a Batman game. The Batman game is that mainstream, like everybody, the people that play Madden only play Batman Arkham Asylum.
Sure.
And Arkham Knight and all those games.
Yeah.
Like Curran played fucking Batman. Lord of the Rings was the game that the gamers play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But everybody loved the Nemesis
The
system.
gamers aren't this mainstream marketing thing, right? Like this to me says bus images, like the images on the sides of buses and all that stuff.
I don't know, Tim. I just don't know. Yeah. I feel like what I see when he's talking about like they're going for this, they think it's going to seduce a lot of players. That like the gameplay I've seen of it and what I've seen at Judges Week make me think it's going the other way. That again, you're drilling down into the hardcore gamer, where you want to take down these bases and you want to get these guys and put them on your team and have all these things. I don't know. That what I saw of Shadow of War looks cool. Runs really well, looks like fun if that's your kind of game, but it doesn't look like it's going to be
seducing anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the title of the game? The full title?
I think it's Middle Earth Shadow of War.
Yeah.
No Lord of the Rings in there. Is that what you're driving at? That's always weird, yeah.
It's a weird title for a game that you're trying to seduce people with.
Hold on. You keep filling. Keep talking. Say anything about this. Anything
Seduce,
about it.
Produce, do all
There
that
you go.
stuff.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for.
I don't know. I feel like Lord of the Rings should be in there if you're trying to target and push that. And if you're not, I don't think it's going to work to attract somebody with a game called Middle Earth.
It's so...
Shadow of War.
What kind of reception in the original one here? Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, you figure 87, 84, and 84 were the Metacritic right now in the first game out there and stuff. I mean, I wish him well. I know the people who loved Shadow of Mordor loved Shadow of Mordor. Here, hold on, I'll go on here. Sales. Shadow of Mordor's release was the most successful for a Lord of the Rings based video game. The game debuted at number 2 in UK retail software sales in its first week and was the 9th best selling game in the United States in October 2014.
this whole we have very high expectations thing. It's like, okay, you have high expectations and then he then goes on to say it's definitely going to be our game of the year. So high expectations of the game being good or high expectations of this game selling millions and millions and millions?
Well, he says our game of the year, so I mean that makes sense for WB's catalog, I would assume, even though it's kind of a roundabout shot at Injustice, because Injustice was the spring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. So I mean, like, I don't know. I wish him well. If you're a Lord of the Rings / Shadow of Mordor War fan, I want you to go get him. But it's just,
yeah,
I don't know.
This was May this year.
I just don't see it being this runaway success. But maybe again, we're just missing. Or kindoffunny.com/KFGD. If you're fucking outstandingly excited and can't wait for Shadow of War, I want to.
My thing is, I know there are people.
I know people are excited for it.
I just don't think that it's a massive, massive audience. Like, it's not a mainstream game. Is the only argument I'm making.
That's the argument. I'm with you on that too. So to be clear, that's the thing. Are we wrong or are we right? Let us know, Shadow fans.
Because I feel like Batman is in the same conversation of Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty. Shadow of Mordor is not.
Yeah. Middle Earth is a broad franchise with lots of appeal. We think we just scratched the surface in a very nice and successful way with the first game, but we believe Shadow of War can seduce a lot of other players because there's so much innovation in the gameplay. We'll see. We don't have to wait long. October, of course, right around as all the video game industry goes crazy and a million games come out. But let's see what happens. Roll the dice. Get me them NPD numbers. Let's jump ahead to November. Number 4. Xbox has admitted Crackdown was announced too early. This is a Polygon article. It's an interview with Shannon Loftus, the general manager of Microsoft Studios Publishing. Quote, I think we probably announced Crackdown too early, Loftus told Polygon during a Gamescom interview in Cologne, Germany this week. Crackdown 3 contains 3 distinct game modes, Loftus explains, and the 3 studios working on the title, Regent Games, Sumo Digital, and CloudGen, I hate that name, needed more time to push the quality bar higher. The game was most recently delayed to 2018 launch last week, but that was only the latest setback to hit the title, originally promised for the second half of 2016. Delaying Crackdown 3, Loftus said, was the result of the Xbox publishing team realizing the game needed to be a better experience rather than just making it out the door on time. Quote, we definitely underestimated the challenge of making sure the quality bar of all 3 of those modes was high and it delivers on what we need to deliver on. So we had to take the extra time and make sure we're delivering the game the Crackdown fans want. It was a super hard decision to do that, and it was made harder because we announced the game. This reflection was part of Xbox's changing strategy with game announcements, Loftus said. While fans may not see as many exclusive titles now, though Loftus points out there are 4 coming to Xbox One and Windows 10 for the holiday. Funny definition of exclusive as always, but I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. There are more on the way. Quote, I think in the past, we have made the mistake of announcing some exclusives a bit too early, she said. We're trying to learn from that mistake and do better. So we have a bit that's in development now that we're not talking about. We're in this for the long haul, and we're going to make sure that not just the spring of 2018, but in the summer and in the fall and in the spring of 2019, that we have great, unique, fun experiences for Xbox gamers.
Good luck with that.
I think it's a great quote. I think it's a great message. I'm glad they're getting out in front of it. I'm glad they're I mean, that's the thing. This is what we're talking about with what the fuck's going on with Xbox One, X Pro, how did the console generations work, right? There's not enough straight talk. And like, don't get me wrong, this would have been great straight talk to have when you delayed Crackdown. I would have run. It's impossible to think about running Xbox or PlayStation like we run Kind of Funny. But hey, we fucked up. Let's do it. Let's live talk to you and do all these different things is the way I try to handle everything. This is a good quote here of like, hey, the question has been in this like 2 weeks of us talking about Xbox and Xbox One X and where they're going in the future has been of just like, I'm hoping that Phil and the team have all these exclusives they're hiding away and getting ready for and blah, blah, blah. If this is the message they want to go with, that's a great fucking message. Yeah. Hey, we fucked up with Crackdown and Scalebound and all these games that we told you about too early, so we're not talking about anything. In 2018, we're going to get there and you're going to see what we have. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's good that they're talking that way, and I think that, talking about Crackdown is important to... I'm always going to support game delays if it means the game's going to be better at the end of the day. Like, that's just... It'd be stupid not to, right? But my problem is, I don't think Crackdown 3 is going to be good. Like, I think that once it comes out, no matter how many delays it has, this is not going to be a great game.
It looks like a strong 7.0.
Yeah.
Hey, and this is fun, but it's empty and it's vapid and we're jumping around and we're doing stuff.
And for me, I'm like, is the, 6 months later that we have to wait for this game going to change that?
Yeah.
Or is it just going to be a different 7.0 game? Right? Or is right now not even a 7.0 game? I don't know.
Yeah.
But not an Xbox business dude, but I would kind of be like, oh, let's just fucking get this out and move on to the next thing.
That's a great counterpoint to it of what you're saying. Yeah, like you can say it and say that you announced it too early, but are you able to fix it? Is it going to be on track? How do you make that game amazing?
Yeah,
and like, especially when there's all these different modes and different developers and different. That's
that whole quote sounds like a mess to me.
Yeah, that's
like, oh, there's like these 3 things, and it was a bigger deal than we thought to get them all good. Okay, well, are any of them good?
Yeah.
If one of them is good, focus on it. Put that game out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We'll see. A lot of wait and see on this episode, but that's how the news rolls. Tim.
Yeah.
If I'm done waiting and seeing and I wanted to play games that came out today, where would I go to find out what came to the Mom and Grop digital shops?
Greg, you can go to the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily show host each and every weekday.
Out today, F1 2017 on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Madden NFL 18 on Xbox One and PS4. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, PS4. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, Xbox One, PS4, PC. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3, Full Burst, PS4. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Legacy, Xbox One, PS4. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy, PS4. Jesus. One Piece Unlimited World Red Deluxe Edition, PS4 and PC. Never End on Vita. One Piece Unlimited World Red on PS4. Path of Exile on Xbox One. Absolute Drift Zen. Let's try it again. Absolute Drift Zen Edition, Xbox One. Battle of the Bulge, Xbox One.
I'm going to stop you there, Greg.
Yeah.
Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah. Be careful now. It's a very historical term. So before you put your foot in it and act like this is something that doesn't
Don't even know what it is.
Okay.
Inform me. What is this? Battle of the Bulge.
Well, the game or like the historic?
What is the historical?
It was a historic battle in World War II or whatever. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Well, you got to pay more attention to them history books and less to your mangas. All right?
Yeah.
You going to watch Death Note this weekend?
Hell yeah.
Are we going to watch it in
Well,
Vegas?
actually, not this weekend. I have to wait for Gia. And we're in Vegas. It's a whole fucking thing.
Eventide 2, The Sorcerer's Mirror on Xbox One. And then Danganronpa V3 has a demo up on the PSN. You can check that out. In terms of new dates, there's a remake of Yakuza 2 apparently on the way called Yakuza Kiwami 2. It was leaked on the Taiwan PSN with a supposed release date of December 17th, 2017. Be on the lookout for that. Tim, you ready to jump with some reader mail?
Yes.
I'm looking for a good one to kick it off with. You know what I mean?
Give me some of that good stuff.
Give me something good. Stiggles writes in
Stiggles.
to kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, hiya, Greg and guest. Sorry, I'm 2 days behind. You'll see my question, I don't know, on Friday maybe. Maybe it's Tim. I'm listening to Wednesday's show and heard the listener who was unhappy about the Uncharted Lost Legacy review. You mentioned it felt a lot like Uncharted 4 all over again and wished you perhaps could have played it before the excellent conclusion of that Uncharted 4 had. I'm in a situation where my backlog has been constantly growing and I've kicked the World of Warcraft habit clean for 3 months and counting. I've only played the original Uncharted and have to play 2, 3, 4, and now Lost Legacy. Should I carry out your wish and play Lost Legacy before 4, or would I be spoiling any of 4 if I did that, and just stick to the release order? I know I've been missing out, and hopefully we'll rectify the situation soon. Thanks, and happy Friday, Stiggles. Interesting question, Stiggles. Let's break it down into parts. Should you play the Lost Legacy before Uncharted 4? No. Under no circumstance, you won't get references, Nadine's relationship to people, you won't get other things. However, should you play Uncharted 4 and then when the epilogue begins, stop Uncharted 4 and play the Lost Legacy? I say yes.
No.
I say 100%
There is
yes.
a clear answer, and it is no.
Why?
There are rules to this, Greg.
What are the rules?
Things are designed in a way to be watched. We're not doing this machete order Star Wars shit. You're not watching, watch Fast and Furious 3 and then watch parts of it. No, fuck that. No. You're supposed to have the knowledge of all that when you play Lost Legacy.
I think you're supposed to have the knowledge of everything before the epilogue because that's how timelines work.
But
here's my argument. It's like in the review, what I talk about is just the fact that Uncharted 4 ended so perfectly, and it closed everything up so great. I would totally prefer to have Nadine and Chloe's story inserted before that, and then end because that's what I kept talking about. Right, this is gonna be the final. I like Lost Legacy, but this is gonna be the final taste of Uncharted I have for years and years and years, maybe forever, which isn't true, but maybe forever. I would much rather insert them there and then close it off with the epilogue of Uncharted 4 and just end it there. Now, granted, you're then putting 8 hours of something completely different in there.
I hope that Lost Legacy performs well enough to make Naughty Dog go, we need to do more of this. More just mini things as we're going on. Still have the big tentpole game, have the like Last of Us or whatever new thing they do, but then also have an Uncharted experience. The world is too good to leave, and I think that this game shows how you could have just side stories with these awesome characters that we love.
Sure, but they're always going to feel like side stories.
Yeah, but I'm fine with that. Like, I had fun with this. I liked this, and
You're ruining the sanctity of Uncharted, sir.
Dude, no, it's good.
It's
good. It's a fun game.
I enjoy it. I'm going to platinum it.
And I want more. There's not games like that. There's no other game that feels like Uncharted, that plays like Uncharted, that tells a story like Uncharted. So until that hole is filled with something else, I just want more of this. And I think that they can keep doing cool things with it because there's so many cool characters that they can do stuff with. And I also think that the epilogue after like playing 4 and then Lost Legacy or whatever doesn't work because if it was Sam and Sully, like Uncharted 4 kind of hints at,
yeah,
that would have made sense. That would have been cool. That is too. Don't like it, Greg. Don't like it one bit.
Okay, I hear you.
Are we gonna play the beginning or not beginning, but the little kid part of Uncharted 3 before we play anything else?
Well, no, but that does the storytelling. I'm in the storytelling structure. That they're telling you a story a specific way there. I think the storytelling structure here of ending with that epilogue makes more sense if we just play. It doesn't matter either way. Play them the way they were. Don't play. Just play Uncharted 4, and then play Lost Legacy. Don't do what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's an interesting argument. It
is an interesting thing to talk about. You were right.
I don't want that. I love Naughty Dog, and I had a lot of fun with Lost Legacy. I don't want to see them keep doing this. I want to see them continue to be the AAA. We take a few years and we come back with something awesome. I want to see their next idea. I want to see them branch out. I want to see Last of Us now becomes their franchise, or that's the game they focus on, and then we get something brand new from them next time.
I do too.
Yeah.
I want that above all, but I also want this game to perform well enough that they can hire more talented people and have another team that does this.
Brand new team going on and doing that? No way.
Not a brand new team, but like expand the team so that it can do more than one thing, more than two things even.
But then we're into a Batman situation where they can end it right now and die the hero, or they can keep going until another fucking Cutter and whoever story.
Yeah, I mean, also I'm not talking about I don't want 10 more of these things.
Yeah,
but I would be super down for 2 more side stories.
Okay,
super down once a year. Fucking give it to me.
I don't know, man. Just let it rest, because it'll be cool.
The naughty gods, man, they'll figure it out.
What if they just chill out for 5-7 years, then PSX, Uncharted, and it picks up after the epilogue with a new character?
Yeah, it'd be great.
That'd be great. But if I fucking have Sam and Cutter and all these assholes going around getting every goddamn treasure in the world, fuck off. Let them sit for a while. Jesus Christ. Let's jump to Chris. Chris writes in and says, well, he wrote it into kindoffunny.com/KFGD, just like you can. It says, hey guys, over the years, I've seen many videos of physically handicapped people playing video games. Many of them have to come up with elaborate homemade setups just to play sometimes a single video game. It's moving and impressive to see such passion to be able to do something I often take for granted. But this leads me to my question. Do you think enough is done for handicapped gamers? Whether that be software features or hardware developers making accessories that's easier for handicapped gamers to use. What are your thoughts? Thanks, and keep up the good work.
There was an amazing panel at PSX 2016 that I recommend you look up and watch, that is about this and about how Sony really cares and is investing in this type of stuff. And there's a lot of things in games that they don't talk about that much, but they're there. And there's a lot of accessibility things that especially the first parties really consider as much as they can. And it was interesting when they're like, we can't make it so that everybody can do everything.
Yeah.
But they have teams, like Sony has a team of people that go to the different developers and are like, hey, you should think about these things, because otherwise they wouldn't have thought about these
100%.
things.
And that was the interesting thing, is like, I think until it was brought to my attention, or you meet somebody who plays games differently, or Colin Campbell at IGN, I remember, did a piece about a guy who played with had to play with one hand. It's that thing of, oh well, yeah, I never thought about that, or like like subtitles in games that I hate these and I turn them off, or maybe they're not even there sometimes. And for deaf gamers, they're like, oh well, that's a huge thing for me. And until you meet someone or have somebody who is advocating for those people, it's not something. And I remember that panel was really good. But when this question came in from Chris, my reaction was basically, he's like, because it comes down to, right? My question is this: do you think enough is done for handicapped gamers? I don't think that's for us to say. And I don't think I'm, with all due respect, paying enough attention to that, right? I'm more worried about what the fuck's going on with these trophies, because that's what's, affecting my life on a daily basis. So what I did is I hit up my friend, Steven Spoon from Able Gamers. He's the COO, ablegamers.com. And I asked him to write in and answer this question, since we really don't have any legs to stand on it. Don't try to make that into a pun. Hello, fellow gamer. You have a big heart. And this is Steven again, obviously. Hello, fellow gamer. You have a big heart and a lot of entity to ask a question like this. I'll do my best to answer you honestly. My name is Steven Spoon. I'm the Chief Operations Officer of Able Gamers, which is the biggest charity enabling gamers with disabilities to play games. My dear friend Greg asked me to lend a hand when answering your question. Now he'll owe me a pizza, and that makes me happy. Damn it. Do you think enough is being done for gamers with disabilities? No, I don't think enough is being done. There are over 33 million gamers with disabilities in America alone, and that number just keeps climbing the more countries you include. If you'll take a look at the numbers from the World Health Organization and the ESA, you'll see there's a ton of people with disabilities who also want to play games. But the truth is that you see people coming up with elaborate homemade setups because it costs too much to buy customized specialty equipment designed for video games. A standard controller is only $30, but each one of the assistive technologies we grant out costs hundreds of dollars. They are incredibly expensive. Imagine paying $450 just to be able to play your Xbox, or $1,500 to be able to play your Vita. It's a shame, and that's Greg here chiming in. Oh my God, $1,500 to be able to play your Vita. It's worth it, but what? Jeez. Back to Steven. It's a shame because there are so many controllers that we can recommend and so many more we can build thanks to 3D printing and a little elbow grease. There are hardware devices that I can get for you There are hardware devices that I can get for you to play games on, even if you only have the use of one hand or one arm or some fingers on each hand, if you can only move your eyes, if you can only move your head, and if all you can do is press a single switch. There are options out there for you. I'm extremely privileged to work for such an amazing company. Able Gamers provides controllers for hundreds of gamers every year and advice for thousands. I get to spend 10 hours a day interviewing people with disabilities, finding out about their lives, fearing their challenges, and then working with them one-on-one to get them back into the game. honestly, it's the best job in the world. I met a young, profoundly disabled boy outside of Chicago. He came to one of our demonstrations with his mom, dad, who looked like The Rock, brother and sister. Maybe all of 10 years old, the boy was in a wheelchair, reclined back with a heart monitor on his table. He was unable to speak except for making a few sounds. He had never been able to play video games because standard controllers are too difficult, but the family was intrigued by our Forza setup. After a few moments with us, we were able to locate that he had some movement still in his left foot. We quickly gathered the right equipment and put together an Xbox controller that operated like a gas pedal. We placed the pedal near his foot, he pressed down, and the car came roaring to life, took off down the speedway, where it immediately crashed into a wall. The young boy laughed and giggled, having just enjoyed his first experience with a video game. I wish I could tell you that stories like this get more attention, but they don't. It's hard for some people to relate to disabilities. If you've never experienced the medical world, it's almost impossible to describe. It can be a frightening place, and it can make you feel very alone. But video games can solve that. Video games can open a window to an otherwise inaccessible world for people with disabilities and in medical situations. I try. Able Gamers tries. All of our allies, including Kinda Funny, tries to help us the best they can. My work is expensive and time-consuming, but it's so worthwhile. I hope that as more and more people realize the importance of video gaming for people with disabilities, that we will continue to see more publishers supporting the accessibility options we advocate, more support for charities that support people with disabilities like Able Gamers, and more people following the brave streamers who will put up with the trolls mocking their disability just to give the world a reminder that we all want to play together. Our hashtag on Twitter is hashtag so everyone can game, and it's the mantra of our lives. We will not stop until everyone with a disability who wants to play a game has the chance to join. Final note. If you need help playing or just want to talk about accessibility, you can reach me at Steven Spoon, StevenSpohn. I'm always happy to help. Thank you, Steven.
Shout out to him for putting this much work into this. That's awesome.
I mean, this is what Steven does, man.
Yeah,
And he's awesome. He's
it.
amazing. Able Gamers is awesome. I'm always happy to help out when I can, but I wish I had more time and that we had more time to do stuff with him. But ablegamers.com is a fantastic charity. If everybody could go over there, check it out. Toss them a few bucks if you got them. That'd be awesome. If you're one of the people watching Twitch right now, rather than tipping us or subbing us today, it'd be great if you could go over there and toss them a few dollars because they deserve it. And they're great. I'm pretty sure they'll be at PAX as always. Steven's always... He's at every convention. Yeah, he's always all over the place. So look for him. All right. I'm going to pull it together here real quick. We're going to go to Nick. Nick has a would you rather. It's not our Nick.
I love would you rathers.
And this is Nick from New Hampshire.
Nick from New Hampshire.
He wrote into kindafunny.com/KFGD just like you can and says, Dear Granny. And he mashed up Greg and Danny, but I like it. Would you rather be given the top 5 games from the NES, SNES, N64, GameCube, and GBA in their original format and on their original systems for free, or pay to have these games on the Switch? Then he put some asterisks in there. Top 5 is hard to determine, so let's say according to IGN's lists of the best games from each platform, prices comparable to virtual console prices on Wii U/3DS, so $5 to $15. Note, you must play the games in the scenario using one of your current entertainment setups. Yes, this means plugging, unplugging all the adapters and whatever HD TVs.
Is there any hesitation for you?
No, Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Just making sure we're on the same page.
Oh my God, of course.
Nintendo knows.
I just want these things on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's all about ecosystem. It's all about convenience. I just want it
100%.
on the Switch. I want it so that I don't even need to play them. I just want to like hit left and right to look through them.
Yep. Have your little game library.
Every once in a
also.
while, pop in, play a couple Mario 3 levels, call it a day.
You know, I still haven't ever beaten Mario 3. I started playing on the 3DS that one day at a bar, and I got into it, but then I was like...
I keep saying this, Greg,
Yeah.
that at some point I want to do a definitive look at Mario 3 versus Mario World. We need to figure this out. We need to figure out you beating Mario 3 and critically looking
Switch.
at it.
Cheeks Jr., want to make a bet about that too, you piece of garbage?
Good Lord.
Sorry, I get it fired up when I think about Cheeks Jr.
Yeah,
His
I get
cheeks. Time to squad up. This is where one of you writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD. You give me your name, your username, the platform you're on, the game you need help with, and why. I read it here. Best friends hit you up, and everybody has fun on the internet. Phil, a.k.a. Clutch Black Cops. Stick with me. At first, I was like, what? He explains. Writes in and says, I'm looking to squad up. This might be a conglomerate of a segment, but I love it all. I'm looking for best friends to play Destiny with on PlayStation 4. Currently, my greasy friend and I are trying to shore up our trophies and finally get the Destiny plat. We've been trying to earn Flawless Raider. This is where the second topic segment comes in. This trophy can go fuck itself. We've been trying for weeks to earn the clusterfuck of a platinum breaker. All the other trophies in Destiny are completely reasonable, but doing an entire raid without a single person on your fire team dying is completely fucking ridiculous. So this is my plea for best friends to help us with Flawless Raider and to enjoy our Destiny experience to fruition so we can move on to Destiny 2. My PSN name is Clutch-Black Cops. Yes, I thought I was in a cool clan for Black Ops in high school, but didn't we all? That made more sense. I was like, all right, whatever. It's KLUTCH-BLACK-COPS. All of this coming from a vehement trophy whore like yourself, Greg. Keep on whoring. Trophies will make or break a game for me, and it's a big deal to a lot of us. Love the new show format and all you do at Kinda Funny. Phil, a.k.a. Clutch Black Cops.
Squad up with him.
Squad
Make
up.
it happen.
Go get that trophy if you're really good at Destiny. You know what I'm saying,
I
son?
know what you're saying.
Tim,
Yes.
do you have what we got wrong, or would you like to meet? I have a couple extra segments today I can roll into while you do that.
Yeah. You can do that.
While you look at what we got wrong at kindafunny.com/you're wrong, I'm going to read you a bad PSN name. This comes from
that isn't Black Cops?
No. Yeah, he could have been 3 segments there, but I'm going to give this one in there too. Sir Davos writes in and says, not a question, but a bad PSN name, Greg. So I know you don't like this when it's not our own name, but I have to say it. So my mates and I were playing some good old Friday the 13th. We were hiding in a cabin, gathering supplies for the journey to the car. The music changes. Jason is knocking on our door. After a struggle, Jason kills us all. That's when we discovered who killed us. None other than Anal with Granddad. Anal with Granddad. ANUL with Granddad.
Oh my God.
Please, Shuhei, let us change our names.
That is horrible.
I'm telling you, Shuhei Yoshida hates you, and he'll never let you change your names because you did this. But there it is. That's just, yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to go through these, Greg.
This is what I got wrong.
Cryby says, last Thursday, Tim said the Splatoon Joy-Cons are only pink left and green right. In Japan, on the My Nintendo site, you can customize your Switch to do both left and right green or left and right pink.
We don't live in no Japan, though.
We don't live in Japan. That is true. Secret of Mana remake is also coming to PC, says Captain.
Oh, my apologies. Sorry, I saw it on a PlayStation blog and didn't see any stuff outside about it. Doodling a Superman symbol for use at home. I often do that. This is what I do.
Charles J says the original Secret of Mana also had 3-player co-op back on the SNES. Tim made it sound like it was a new feature. I did not know. So
you son of a bitch. Can't believe you'd lie to the kids like that, Tim.
I'm such a liar. Shadow of Mordor sales 4.8 million total, 3.5 on PS4 and 1.37 on Xbox.
Thank you. Respect. I mean, good. I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just saying
great, even
the way they're talking about it. They're making it sound like this thing is going to be the Jim James on the Jam Dodge. You know what I'm saying? Cool, Greg? That ain't going to happen.
M. Murphy J11 says, Shadow of War not being called Lord of the Rings is due to a licensing issue and how the world of Middle-earth spans multiple works of literature. A piece of work has to pertain directly to Lord of the Rings, such as the Lord of the Rings Online. Their likeness is only for what happens in the books and nothing more to earn the name. The Shadow of Mordor series takes place in Middle-earth, but outside the literature of the Lord of the Rings, Tolkien Enterprises is super finicky and strict with licensing and naming.
Thank you.
That is very interesting.
So I'm sure WB wishes they could slap Lord of the Rings in the box too.
Titan Matrix is dropping some editorial, whatever. I just want to read this, Greg.
Cool.
While talking about Uncharted Lost Legacy, Greg said he was going to platinum it.
Oh,
this is incorrect. Greg can't platinum games anymore. He
All
lost
right.
his mojo. He can't even start Persona 5.
You're all pieces of work. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to platinum Hot Shots or everybody's golf. I'll tell you that right now. Trophies went up, and I looked at them like,
you're like, not
we'll
today.
I mean, I'm going to play a lot of it for sure. Very excited about it, but what are you going to do? Speaking of trophies, Greg Way, a lot of you Overwatch fans wrote in melting down about it, so I'm going to explain it here. Bert wrote in, says yesterday's changes to the character Mercy in Overwatch charge were announced. Yesterday changes to the character Mercy in Overwatch Charge were announced, completely changing her ultimate ability. This change makes it impossible to get a trophy that required you to use our old ultimate on 4 people. You're supposed to heal 4 people with this ultimate, Tim, but nah, she can't do that. With games becoming services in multiplayer games specifically needing balances, can this affect future trophy lists? Or does Blizzard just not care about the non-master race?
Nerf this, am I right?
Nerf this indeed. Yeah, I saw this going around. I saw people writing in about it. Keep being loud about it. Blizzard will change it. They'll fix it.
Yeah.
They'll get in there. I mean, for everything I know about Blizzard, they are a very attentive company. I'm sure
they on this.
This is just something they look past. Now they'll see it. They'll get in there and update the trophy list and do some kind of back-end shenanigans to do it. And if not, I didn't say it, but burn them down. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Remember, each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about before jumping to the chat. No, that's not right. That's a different show I just did. Before jumping to your questions, comments, and concerns that you leave at kindoffunny.com/KFGD. Monday, Tim and I will be back, so that's who's on the show. Don't screw it up. Go through, run it through. As you see, I added it. There's a new segment here at the end that says who's on, because everybody's always, people write in, they're always so upset if I don't say it and they don't know who's going to be on. I appreciate that. You can get it on Twitch live as we do it. You can go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, watch it there. You can get it on podcast services around the globe, but no matter where you get it, thank you for caring. Until next time, have a great weekend. It's been our pleasure to serve you.